boundaries. So my episode is out today. If you want to go ahead and listen to it after this, I'm super grateful for those that are tuning in. Don't forget to, subscribe and leave us some type of, comments and, or reviews. And don't forget to follow me on YouTube with Conversations with Kelly as well. And today's subject, like I said, it's about accountability and boundaries. Accountability is hard. It's hard to hold yourself accountable for things that it's not going to be easy to swallow. For example, you're going to hold yourself accountable. I'm holding myself accountable for every week. Come on in and, no matter how I feel mentally, emotionally, I'm holding myself accountable to come on, leave you guys with something that I know it's going to be beneficial to you. So that's how I'm holding myself accountable. Holding myself accountable also that if there's days that I don't feel well, accept it. It's okay. It's okay not to feel okay. But when it comes to accountability for, lacking in certain things, or, if you're in a relationship, friendship, work, if you're not giving your best, hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable and realize and recognize that, yes, I'm not giving my best. And these are things that I know it's hard to understand and it's hard to swallow. Because again, our ego is automatically going to push us to being defensive, to being, oh, this person doesn't like me. And, I'm doing everything always wrong. Instead of saying, maybe what they're saying, it's true. I'm not giving my 100%. Let me see how I can, provide either a better service or, be a better, friend or daughter, mother, and take that and use it to help you instead of it being something that's going to deter you. And it's hard. Like I said, accountability is hard. I'm going to give you an example of what, I kind of mentioned in the podcast episode is I'm teaching my daughter now how to be accountable for things that she's not doing. If, let's say, just throwing a random example, after she takes a bath, she needs to clean the bathtub, general hygiene things. She doesn't want to do it. I'm like, okay, you have to do it. Like, this is it. She's like, yeah, but, you're stressing me out and, making a big deal to avoid doing what she needs to do because she already knows this is something that is being taught to her. This is not something, that is super stressful. You come out of the bath, you clean the bathtub, that's it. And she's always like, blaming and all of that. I'm like, no, hold yourself accountable that you didn't do it. And that's it. We don't have to make a big deal about it. You don't have to, cause a scene or make yourself angry or make yourself, feel anything other than, okay, my mom said to do this and that's it. And I told her, I was like, you can hold me accountable as well. That if I tell you, something or, or if I promise that we were going to do something, either, watch a movie, or you wanted me to listen to something that you wanted to say and I haven't been doing, hold me accountable for it. And be like, yeah, you promised that you were going to do it and you haven't. It's okay. Accountability, it's okay. And it kind of intertwines into boundaries. When you hold yourself accountable, you're holding yourself a boundary that you're giving the other person an open door to know that you have to be, respectful. You have to be respected. You have to be listened to, and people cannot go ahead and like walk all over you. And boundaries is another subject that's hard. People don't like setting boundaries because they're afraid of, hey girl, people are afraid of setting boundaries because they're afraid that the other person is going to get mad at them. The other person is not going to like them. The other person is going to feel, disrespected. But at the same point, you're dishonoring yourself and you're letting somebody else disrespect you, walk all over you, and make you and look at you as if you were just an object and not a person. So setting boundaries at work, at home, with yourself, outside, set boundaries. There are things that are non-negotiable for me. My non-negotiables are, don't disrespect me. If I say no, it's no. And, if I don't feel like doing something, I'm not going to do it. If I don't feel like I need to do something that I know that it's aligned with me, I'm not going to do it. And I'm no longer afraid of using my voice, And that's a boundary. That's a boundary that took a while for me to figure out. Because I was always afraid of making other people feel bad. And, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't want nobody to get mad. I'm sorry. People walk over me. People take advantage of me. And it led me to nothing. It led me to feeling hurt, disappointed. So, setting a boundary with everything, at home, at work, with family, with friends. You have to set boundaries. There's certain things that you as a human should not be tolerating for your growth. When it comes to friendships, there's certain boundaries that you should not cross. Don't be disrespectful to your friends. There's just certain things that you just shouldn't do in a friendship. If you're going to give somebody an advice, be mindful of how you give people advice because you don't know the headspace that they're in. And your tone might not be received the same way as your intentions are when it comes to work. Be respectful of where you work, but as well as those who you work for. I know that we're not responsible for how others, act or how others treat us. But once you set that boundary, that you set the tone of, I'm not going to be disrespected. I'm not going to be talked down to just because, because, oh, you seem like a nice person, so I'm going to let all my frustrations out on you. No. Yes, you can be trustworthy. You can, be yourself, but be very cautious. I don't want to say don't open yourself too much with people because, that leads into different conversations, but just be mindful. Your workplace is not a social gathering. It's somewhere that you're providing service to the person that you're working for. So, those are boundaries, set boundaries at work. You go in, clock in, do what you have to do, take your lunch, do everything that you have to do. The same respect that you give is the same respect. Sometimes you might not get it, but hold your ground, When it comes to kids, little kids, they have no sense of boundaries. Why? Because those are things that are taught. So when you have kids or little kids around you, you have to teach them boundaries. Don't touch this because you're going to get hurt. Don't hit mom because it hurts me and I'm going to get upset, so don't hit. We don't scream, indoor voice. You have to set boundaries. And when it comes into relationships, that's a difficult one, because not everyone is healed. And once you start setting boundaries within relationships, they reciprocated in a sense of, oh, Kelly is being controlling, Kelly is being this. No, it's a sense of, I'm no longer gonna accept these things in the relationship. Disrespect, cheating, don't talk down to me, just various things, emotional abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. There's just so many things within a relationship that once you start in the relationship, put a boundary up, and it'll set the tone of the relationship. You would see if the person is willing to accept that boundary. If you would come into a new relationship with someone and they, off the bat, every time you want to go out to dinner or even hanging out, they say things that you've already told them that you don't like, but, they don't make the effort to try to change. That's a sign that they don't respect your boundaries, and it's only going to get worse. So you have to keep pushing. You have to keep, if you have to end the relationship, just do it, because you're going to save yourself so much heartache later on. Just boundaries in itself, it's just, there's so much conversation within boundaries that I don't think there is enough time to hit it. And when it comes to accountability, like I said, it intertwines, because if you don't hold yourself accountable with your boundaries, people are going to end up, doing what they want to do with you, treating you like any way that they decide, because they don't know what your limit is. They don't know what you allow and don't allow. So when it comes to boundaries and accountability, speak up. Don't be afraid to tell somebody, hey, I don't like this. It makes me feel uncomfortable. There's certain things that I don't tolerate, and this is one of them. I'm letting you know, it's okay to use your voice. It's okay to tell somebody that you don't feel comfortable, in a conversation, doing something. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. But like I said, today is going to be like a very short episode session, because this week I have so much meetings, so many things that I'm planning for the podcast. So, starting February, I have a couple of people lined up, which I'm so excited and so grateful. And yeah, it's just good things, are slowly coming to, the surface. I'm no longer working with Anita, as of December, which is okay. She rebranded herself and doesn't need, her a team, which is understandable if you're rebranding yourself. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, when it comes to boundaries, and accountability, it is okay to be honest. Speak from your heart. Speak from inside of how you feel. And people would not, will not walk over you if you don't speak up. If there's certain things that you don't like, speak up. Talk about, let's say, with boundaries, in my past relationship, I would let the other person, if I come up with an idea of something that I want to do, completely shut me off, discourage me, tell me no, that it's a waste of time. But internally, I know that it's something that I've always wanted to do, that lit me up, that made me feel so good. And the mind tricks coming along. Also, how are you going to, raise the kid? How are you going to do this? Are you going to, how are you going to feel? So, it brought me down, really down. And I started to lose faith. But once the pandemic hit, that I went back internally and rediscovered myself, isolated myself for a while, because this whole, process is not easy. It's very difficult, but rewarding. And I started speaking up for myself and started, setting boundaries of there's certain things that I don't accept. Don't talk to me this way. If I say something, that's it. I'm going to say it and that's it. If you don't like it, that's something that you have to handle. It is okay. I got my life back. I felt like I was myself again, but in a better version, because I was held back from speaking my truth, feeling my truth, living my truth, because I was hiding behind, I don't want to make such and such upset. I don't want to cause a scene. I don't want no issues. So I'm just not going to say anything and avoid it, and just be like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. You have to speak up for yourself. You have to, going back again, you have to hold yourself accountable for certain things. Like me, I should have held myself accountable and realized that what I was doing to myself was a disservice not only to me, but to my daughter. I was teaching her that I wasn't respecting myself, my boundaries, or her. And teaching her that pattern is okay, of letting people talk to you any way that they wanted, bring you down mentally and emotionally. And it's okay because, my mom did it. My mom accepted it, that, that whatever so-and-so said, that's her belief. That's who she is. So why am I going to listen to that I'm great, I'm the best, if my mom didn't, do it? So, yeah, that is my quick chat today about accountability and boundaries. Like I said, today is a very short and sweet. I hope you got something out of it. Remember that a boundary is something that you set, and it speaks volume about you and about who you are and how much worth you put on yourself. So we'll talk again. Stay on the loop again on my stories. And I have good news also. The podcast is now available through Apple Music, Spotify, and iHeart. So go ahead and subscribe, and the YouTube as well. Leave a review, leave us comments. This is, like I said, a new venture that I'm doing. So if there's tips that you have, ideas or shows, please drop it in my inbox. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in your homes and, teach you a little bit about something that I've learned within myself. And I will talk to you next week. I have a special guest in regards to talking about mental health and spirituality. So I am so excited to talk to her. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye.